Hey everybody, this is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine, aka Vulcan Wolverine 2. It is Monday night. It's about 7:20 p.m. where I am in Baton Rouge, December 16th, 2019. Live long and prosper. Um, Welcome to anybody joining in chat tonight. I just wanted to go through some like updates on the hey Deb, how you doing? How you getting through everything? I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody coming into chat is doing well. Hey Jared, man, how you doing? Like I did that putting the ZVS driver together the other night, and I couldn't get the screws off. And you guys should have seen me after the after I turned off that live stream. I couldn't get the screws out, right? But I'm kind of proud of myself with my persistence. Couldn't get the screws out to get the fan off to then put the Tesla coils in. So what I ended up doing is I ended up like getting a small screwdriver and unscrewing the little holders for the Tesla coils in them, and one of those screws wouldn't come out, which is making me kind of suspicious because my second ZVS driver was wrapped way differently than the first one. And I'm sure that what they do is they use some kind of machine to screw the screws in, but it was like almost like they were welded on. They weren't, but it was so tight that I couldn't get them off, and couldn't unscrew it from the bottom either. But I did eventually unscrew the little holders and get the ZVS driver in, but afterwards I was like shaking because it was such like I had to use a plier to like take the screw and put it back in there. What I'm thinking, guys, is if you are going to get a ZVS driver, maybe get one with I couldn't find one with the right specs with the Tesla coil already put in, but if you can find one with the right specs where you can get the Tesla coil already put in, I think that's going to be a better idea. Because it was really tough when the screws wouldn't come out. Now, I don't think you're going to get one where the screws can't be unscrewed, but I've had people like that have gotten the ZVS driver, they've had little problems with it where it's broken or this, it won't unscrew here. It was tough. I got it working. So, but tonight, guys, I wanted to tell you, you probably are going to be hearing a hum from beside me because I have both ZVS drivers on. I got rid of my V2K for 2 hours, completely gone, right? Completely gone for 2 hours. But then my attackers increased the amplitude and got it back up. What I'm thinking, and hey, Autumn, hey, Ella. Ella says, good afternoon, Kyle. Did it zap any perps? I wish. Ella, I wish that this remotely zapped my perps back. What it's doing, it's reducing everything, but I kind of have a question now because, and let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something first. I'm going to share my screen. Tonight, what I'll be doing, I don't know, like, I don't know how long I'm going to run the live stream, but I wanted to go through some updates on the PACTS newsletter website, and then I wanted to go through some things on the Targeted Justice website. Now, these are websites that a lot of you guys probably do look at, but I just wanted to go over some specific updates on the PACTS newsletter website, or the PACTS website, the newsletter, and then go over some things on the Targeted Justice website, because it's just a good chance for me to go through it. I'm very, like, it's not like I can't do research off of the live streams, but I feel like it's a lot better if I just hang out with y'all and we go through stuff. It helps me to do some research kind of on the live stream. MM's TI strategy guy says, I've roasted the crap out of my gang stalkers today. That is awesome. That is awesome. I'm kind of glad, like, around my condo, it's a lot of older people, and I've been here so long that some of them are starting to question what's going on, and it's kind of dwindled down, the gang stalking around my condo. But when I go out, I get vehicular stalking, I get changed lights on me. Basically my vehicular stalking is like the one light cars, sheriff's cars, city police, EMS workers, and stuff like that. And then I'll actually get street lights changed on me, which I think is automated. I think it's just reacting to my GPS, and they have an automated system where it will switch lights on anybody who's targeted in the city, which I'm sure there are a lot of targeted individuals in the city. So, hey, Future Knowledge. Let me show you all this real quick. And hey, Tanya, let me show you all this. Yeah. Artist of Elian says, hope you guys are doing okay considering the shenanigans. Yeah, it's tough stuff. And like, even though I found a lot of stuff that works, and I have a question. Let me show you all this, and I'll tell you all kind of the question in my mind about what the ZVS driver does, and another variable that we might have to deal with, that I think that I'm dealing with, because the ZVS driver is knocking out a lot of the, like, you feel warmth around your head. They're creating an electromagnetic field around the head, and then a bidirectional stream of like ultrasound, photonic energy, basically just electromagnetic energy of some kind, to actually do remote neural manipulation. And I got rid of my V2K for like 2 hours, but then my attackers increased it. I kind of have a question in my mind, because as I've added these defenses, my V2K has solely come from the left. They used to be able to like make me hear the V2K from the right, from the front, and stuff like that, and they do just a little bit sometimes, but it solely comes from the left since I've added all this stuff. So I kind of have a question about it. And hey, Healthy Living. Okay, Healthy Living, other thing says, I have a premiere at 7 p.m. tonight, California time. So guys, check out Healthy Living and Other Things channel. She's having a premiere at 7 p.m. California time, so that'd be 9 p.m. It's 7:30 my time right now, so that'd be like 9 p.m. my time, but 7 p.m. California time. But let me show you all this from the PACTS International website real quick, if I can find it, because they were doing an update on the ZVS driver. Hey Cal, how you doing, man? Let's see, PACTS. Okay, so check this out, guys. ZVS driver with induction coil may block targeting. The following information was posted by Patrick Funk, F-U-N-C-H, and posted on his Twitter account at Occupy Central California. So all targeted individuals should have a 48, they meant 48 volt, they put 48 watt there, should have a 48 volt power supply connected to a ZVS driver with induction coil. I just ordered one, and the sheriff told me that they will never be able to see you or talk to you again as long as you're around that thing. The ZVS gives a blue aura on their screen. So, and I'll continue, I'll finish reading it, what he put on his Twitter account. The National Sheriff's Association is building a massive radio microwave UHF network for local law enforcement, including police, using surveillance techniques that are more severe than what the NSA was doing that Snowden exposed. They have the tech now, they can see RNM on anyone. I still think that the RNM is done by, contractors under the NSA and DOD. Police do have access to this technology. How many police are doing this to targeted individuals that have this done to them, being done to them 24 hours a day? I don't know for certain, but he gives links too. So you can go to the PACTS International website and then go to the latest newsletter for Friday, November 29th. But what I wanted to say is, the ZVS driver, especially like as I set up 2 of them, it's blocking a lot, but I'm still getting some body pain, and I'm still getting the V2K on the left side. I think that what's happening is we're dealing with some more variables, right? We're dealing with more variables than just being hit externally with remote stuff. I think that, and this kind of is another proof to me. This is another proof to me that I think that I have an implant on my left side. And so I'm blocking out a lot of the remote stuff that doesn't have to do with the implant, the things that they're doing that don't have to do with the implant, but then they're just falling back to use the implant on my left side. And they're still able to cause some nerve pain by going through the vestibular system, a signal from the implant to the vestibular system, and still able to do the V2K, running it to the inner ear. So Ella said, just got off the phone to a house support worker who was tapping my call. She said she didn't have my files in front of her. She can't answer, but she said, oh, your file says. Yeah. Artist of Ilian says, we are being targeted by sentient simulation using very advanced AI technology. It is of the devil. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of AI involved and automation involved. I mean, just my Chatterbox software, it goes all the time, and a lot of it is not manual. But you got to remember, on a lot of targeted individuals, there are, human operators that are actually training with the AI. Brian too says it very well. I want to give credit where credit's due, because I do agree with him on a lot of stuff. They're doing training, research, and development on this technology. But I thought it was a big deal that what Sheriff told Mr. Funk, that this basically puts a blue light around us for some of the surveillance techniques, like for some of the through-the-wall radar surveillance techniques. It does hide us. It does scatter. It interferes with what they're surveilling us with, and I think it does interfere with some of the remote, like how they're doing the remote neural manipulation, sending remote signals. It interferes with how they can find us there, and I think it buffers down a lot of it. I do think there's a lot of variables in this, and that's why it gets so confusing for us, because I think there's a variable with me where I do have a non-consensual implant on my left side, and so as I do these defenses, and it really blocks out a lot of this external stuff that they're shooting at me, they can still fall back on that internal implant. And it kind of proves it to me, because I scattered the signal for like 2 hours, like no V2K at all for 2 hours. When I got the ZVS driver up a couple of hours after I got it up, the next day, I didn't have a V2K for 2 hours. But then what did the attackers do? Brian too also says this, which he is correct about, and I've agreed with him about this the whole time. They do change the phase, frequency, and amplitude of these weapons to try and get past defenses. Now, what I don't agree with him on is that they can just get past the defenses entirely, and the defenses are not useful. I think they can modify the phase, frequency, and amplitude. They gain a little bit of ground back. So you gain all this ground, you gain like a bunch of defense, and then they kind of start gaining back, and then it plateaus. So that's kind of my experience with it. Yeah, Future Knowledge says that too. I agree with Brian on a lot of stuff as well. I disagree with him on a lot though. Yeah, that's me too. But I do like when targeted individuals say stuff that's very important for us, like these people do to adapt to defenses. Our attackers and the AI, they do modulate the phase, frequency, and amplitude. I'm not quite sure what the phase is, but I know frequency and amplitude, they just switch up the frequencies. They go up and down the electromagnetic spectrum. And then amplitude means they just turn it up. They just turn up the intensity of it. So they do try and do that. But the two ZVS drivers are like I felt like I got my mind back. Like I felt like, boom, like the front of my brain was released. And then I ended up turning them off and going out. I had to go run some errands, and I started to get really dizzy because something was like hooking back into me. So it's been very interesting, and it's only been like 2 days. It was a struggle getting that thing together because the screws wouldn't come out. I was like unscrewing the bottom of the place where you put the Tesla coil in. I don't want to bring it. I would bring it over and show y'all. Let me see. I don't want to show my room because it's such a mess. Oh, I'm showing all the trash in my room. I got to really clean up. But you see that, guys, where the Tesla coil fits in there. I had to like unscrew. You got to unscrew like the ends of it to pick it up and put the Tesla coil in, because it doesn't just fit in there. And it was a task. I did get it in there. I showed all the, I got a bunch of trash and like movies and stuff on my floor. Okay, so I wanted to just say that about the ZVS driver, and I'm going to give y'all an update because it's only been going for like, 2 days. I want to give it a while to build up. I am going to leave it running on this live stream, but the next live stream I'll turn one off. I just want to see how well it does, how well 2 of them do, because my attackers do a bunch of stuff that's pretty consistent when I do a live stream. Like they'll really try and make me agitated and nervous, which I did find out, like I was doing the last live stream, putting the ZVS driver together, and these were falling off. My transcranial stimulation devices were falling off, so I just took them off, right? And like immediately, a couple minutes later, I started to get really, really anxious. And so like that's why I wear these things, because if I don't, it's like I feel completely different on these live streams. What the transcranial stimulation devices, or you can get a TENS unit. I got a CES Ultra device. What it does, it's conducting this certain kind of voltage along the skin, and it's interfering with what they're doing, running electromagnetic frequencies across the skin to do remote neural manipulation and things like that. So when I have these on, they can't really make me have to go to the bathroom and stuff like that, or it's very hard for them to do that. And also it helps my emotional balance too. So I'm putting in all these different things together, and that's the bottom line for me. It's the bottom line for me is that mixing and matching can get you some really good relief. It would be completely different if if I didn't have all these defenses. So artist of L. says, when I work on music or art, I don't notice the R&M as much. Yeah, because you're taking your focus off of it. That's what a lot of times, like I'll play video games and watch something and be like, well, I can't really read, but I'll read and like watch something. And if you're doing 2 things, it's helping to unentrain your brain, right? Future Knowledge says, my voice to skull told me that if we found something that worked, it wouldn't last for long. But yeah, I agree that they adapt to stuff, Future Knowledge, but they can't get past it all the way. It's like you'll get, okay, say you're not getting 100%, like you're not relieving all the targeting, but the defense is working 100%, right? The defense is defending 100% of what it can. Then our attackers maybe get back 30%, but you're still working with 70% strength of that, the attenuation the defense is doing. So although they do adapt to things, like they've even adapted some to Dave Case's CD over 3 years, but it's still, if I didn't use Dave Case's CD, I would lose that 70% that I was getting, right? So Dave Case's CD was working 100%. It wasn't getting rid of 100% of the targeting. It was working at 100% effectiveness. Then over 3 years, they probably pushed it back about 30%, and then they plateaued. So yeah, Future Knowledge says, don't worry, Kyle, it's hard to keep up with daily tasks while you're being tortured. Yeah, and also I gotta hang out around the defenses for them to work. So a lot of people who are working with the defenses, but they have to go out during the day and do stuff, and then they don't like staying at home, so they just kind of use the defenses like when they sleep. It doesn't work as well as it works for me, because I sit my happy ass in my house and I use the defenses because that's my priority, right? But some people can't do that. So we're dealing with a lot of variables here. Bottom line, mix and match stuff, and I would really recommend the ZVS driver. I'm still going to put those in a playlist, so people can see it. I don't know if I'd start out with 2. Get one ZVS driver and try it out. It will work. It will work. It will attenuate. How much they'll adapt to it, how much relief you'll get, because I use Dave Case's CD, grounding, this thing, lots of headgear and stuff like that. So I put other variables in my mix and match. So if you just use the ZVS driver and nothing else, how well would it work? I don't know. It would work though. Like the theory of how, but it will attenuate. It will attenuate. How much relief you're going to get, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure because I use a bunch of other things. So Healthy Living and Other Things says, I did a premiere last night on psychiatry in the military, and one of my chatters told me that big pharma drugs are the new TI instrument, and I have to agree. I would, yeah, they do use, you know, pharmaceutical drugs, but I think that the main things are, you know, toxins and directed energy. Those are our most dangerous things. Because I've talked to some targeted individuals and myself, I use Ativan, and it is a great chemical shield. I use Ativan and Kratom, and then I talked to other targeted individuals who have to, like, they have to use some kind of like psychiatric drug, but it helps the targeting because it's doing something chemical to their brain. So not all pharmaceutical drugs automatically hurt and make the mind control stronger. Some of them actually do break up the RNN. So it's just a lot of variables in that. I don't think every pharmaceutical drug is going to poison you and make the targeting worse. I know that's maybe not a popular opinion, but it is the truth. It is factual on what I've talked to people and had experiences on. I think some pharmaceutical drugs can be very dangerous. It can make the mind control stronger. I just think there's some that are very mild that don't really help our attackers out and actually are great chemical shielding, right? So that's another kind of complicated topic. I'm not saying you're wrong, Healthy Living and Other Things. I think they do use pharmaceutical drugs for, you know, mind control. Some of them can help with alleviating what's chemically happening to your brain from the remote neural manipulation. I've experienced a lot of relief from the Ativan, Kratom. I don't take any other pharmaceutical drugs. So, and you know, Brian too uses a lot of chemical shielding. Chemical shielding is like necessary in this. It's one of my biggest offenses, you know. Future Knowledge says, even in bad targeted individual channels, I find a nugget of information sometimes I can use. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like in every targeted individual's channel, I can always find useful information. I think it's hard for us because things are so confusing, and with each, like with my targeting, there's different variables than in your targeting, and it may be a different contractor also, right? So there's just different variables that we're dealing with. And it is a complicated system. There are a lot of people using these weapons, neuro weapons and directed energy weapons for different testing, different training, research and development. So we're going to have some different situations there. Hey Diana, how you doing? Hey Bose Koroglin, I hope I said that right. And I think I said hello to you, right, Autumn? I hope you and your family are doing well. Let's go. I wanted to show you all this. I wanted to read this real quick. I couldn't find it on the PACTS website, but it had to do with Dr. Hoffer. Let me find it real quick. I always say, I'm like, let me find it real quick. Oh, go back. Okay. Let me read it. This is from the PACTS website. Let me pull up the PACTS website. Hey, Slack TI, how you doing, man? Diana Pythia says, I use a lot of sleepy time tea and various herbs and supplements and vitamins. Supplements and herbs and vitamins are so important. I just started taking chlorella. I got chlorella and spirulina, but I just wanted to introduce one at a time. So I'm taking chlorella. I'm taking it for 1 day, so I don't really know. I think I felt better, but I want to wait, you know, because I get a placebo effect. When I try things, I'm like, oh, this is going to work because I want to believe that it's going to work. And I do get a little amped, so I need to wait. Before I tell y'all if something's working or not, I need to wait a long time because I definitely do get placebo effects from things because I want to believe in it so much. You know, I'm so desperate for y'all to get relief, for myself to get relief. So I have to find organizational ways in my own head and my time to just say, okay, wait, I think this is working, but let me wait and see, you know. But I think the chlorella is making me feel a little bit better. Lori Smith said, just got Kratom, would like to know more about how it works. Yeah, Kratom works awesome. The white and the red. White, I use white in the morning, or white when I wake up. Then I use kind of green in the middle of the day. And then I use like red at night to help me sleep. Yeah. What's EMDR? Bosker Karaglin says, EMDR is an effective therapy for PTSD. What they are doing to us is based on trauma they inflicted. EMDR might help. I will be trying. What's EMDR? Is that electromagnetic something? I don't know. Did I miss what EMDR is? Yeah, Ella says Brian too is awesome and so informative. I agree, Ella. I agree. He has a lot of good information when and he does sum it up. Oh, eye movement. Okay, eye movement. Okay. Diana 50 says, yeah, good idea about the EMDR eye movement. Okay. Eye movement, directional something. Okay, Tanya says, Kyle, can you look at Richie from Boston about targeting? And he put something on his bed to sleep. Okay. It's probably something grounding, like grounding. I actually ordered, it's only like, I think it was like $35. I'll look it up. I don't know if I'll be able to do it in this live stream, but I'm getting it's a lead based, like 0.5 something, lead and rubber, and it covers the whole neck and the head. So I'm going to show you all that when I get it. And I think that that's going to work. I'm just going to keep on adding things. Right now, like I slept, like my attackers have been waking me up every 6 hours when I sleep. They don't want me to use Dave Case's CD for too long, and I don't use it when I'm awake, which is my bad. I need to start just using it all the time. But with the second ZVS driver, let's see, I put it together Saturday night. Was it Friday night or Saturday night? Friday night or Saturday night? I can't remember, guys. It was either Friday or Saturday night. And then I used it, I think it was Friday night. And then I used it Saturday through the day, Saturday night, Sunday. And then today when I slept for 12 hours, 12 or 13 hours. It was a long time, 12 to 14 hours or something. It was an incredibly long time. It seemed like they weren't able to wake me up, and my body was actually getting regular sleep, you know. And I really think that that was due to the ZVS driver. However, I did wake up with some fibromyalgia type pain, like in my upper back, but it was different this time. It was a little bit, because I'd been laying flat for so long. Right when I sat up, it went away. Usually, like, it takes an hour or two for that to go away, but it's like right when I sat up, that went away. And I think that I'm sitting in this scalar field, and it's really affecting things. Hey, Jeff, brother. Jeff says, my brother Wolverine. How you doing, Jeff? Hey, Jeanette. Hey, politically persecuted Bristol. Let me read this, guys. Let me read this, okay? Because this has to do with Dr. Hoffer. So I kind of talked about the ZVS driver. I'm really recommending getting one. I'm going to put my stuff in a playlist so you guys can see like how I put it together. A lot of other people are using it, and it really works. I don't know if it hides this. Maybe it does. Maybe it hides this. And with my situation, I have an implant, but I've talked to other targeted individuals where they're still getting targeted. It's not as bad, and then their attackers are kind of adapting to it, and they're losing, like they're losing ground on how much it's helping them. For me, that's true, but I think there might be some more variables. Like if you have an implant, they can go ahead and attack you through that implant. Then you're blocking out anything remote that they're doing. So I was talking about that. So this is about Dr. Hoffer. This is from the PACTS website. I couldn't find it on the PACTS website, but Stacy sent it to me. Richard Lovelace's recent visit to Dr. Hoffer. Recently, there have been a number of TIs who have visited Dr. Michael Hoffer at his office in Miami, Florida. As most of you know, Dr. Hoffer and his colleagues were the ones who examined the U.S. diplomats to Cuba a few years ago who have now been diagnosed with Havana syndrome. Some of you have graciously reported back to us after your visit to him to let us know how things went. Our community has received extremely valuable information from these visits. Such is the case with Richard Lovelace, and I know Richard, like I've talked to him on conference calls and stuff. Richard, if you're watching my videos, brother, please email me because I want to talk to you about where this was on the report. Because I asked Dr. Hopper. Well, let me finish reading this, and I'll tell y'all because I'm like I was like I asked Dr. Hoffer to give me something like some kind of medical report saying I'm a targeted individual, and he would not. But I'm thinking I did not get my medical report from the visit. He might have just done the same thing, but let me read it so y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of you have graciously reported back to us after your visit to him to let us know how things went. Our community has received extremely valuable information from these visits. Such is the case with Richard Lovelace, who reported back to us last Monday from his appointment with Dr. Hoffer, which was last Wednesday, December 4th. To our amazement, Richard reported to us his discovery that the phrase microwave targeted individual, had been actually recorded in his medical papers. In his medical papers, the term microwave targeted individual is in there. Now, whether it was, I got to talk to him about it, and I've also got to get my medical papers. I'm going to get my medical documentation from that visit and see if it's on there, because I could show my psychiatrist that she could help me more. I could, use it for court too, whenever that's going to happen. I don't know when that's going to happen. Okay, so microwave target individual had been actually recorded in his medical papers. Richard then sent me a scanned copy of his record as proof. To my knowledge, this is a ground-shaking first from a medical professional acknowledging attacks by microwave weapons in an individual's medical record. Earlier this year, Dr. Hoffer and Dr. Douglas Smith in Pittsburgh were the first physicians to acknowledge microwave. So that you remember Douglas Smith from the University of Penn Brain Injury and Repair Center. So earlier this year, Dr. Hoffer and Dr. Douglas Smith in Pittsburgh were the first physicians to acknowledge microwave and directed energy weapons attacks to the mainstream press in reference to the attacks by the U.S. diplomats to Cuba and China. And now our community is finally starting to receive tangible benefits since the disclosures began of directed energy weapons attacks to U.S. foreign diplomats. These developments clearly show how far our movement has progressed and how we may leverage these recent events to our benefit. So I want to, Richard, if you're watching this, please email me. I'm going to try and get my medical records for my visit. But I didn't think, I asked him, I was like, can you give me like a medical report or something that says I'm a targeted individual that I can use for court? And he said he wouldn't be able to do that. So I don't know, maybe he just writes it in there or something in the medical paper. So I'm going to get my medical documentation from there, and we'll see. I took my cod piece out like I usually have. I'll show you all. This is copper scrubbies in this, and I put this down my pants because I don't want to get hit in the groin, and it works. And so I took this out because I have my CVS drivers on and I wanted to see, and my attackers are hitting me in the groin. But it's like very, I can feel a little bit of heat, and then a pinch. I feel a pinch, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as it usually is if I take this out. I wanted to kind of experiment with things on the live stream because that's when they really hit me hard. So I wanted to do those things. This really works. Like if you can find something a little bit more creative, because this sucks carrying this around in the front, and for women it's a little bit different. The copper scrubbies down the pants do help with the groin hits. They can kind of get through, but with my attackers, they kind of just started hitting other spots. And I felt a little bit of they'll heat up my stomach with this wide, kind of wide heat beam. And that was really, really reduced. And so to me, what's happening with the CVS driver just through, experimentation, is that it's not hiding me. It's not hiding me from the attacks, but it's reducing them. You know, it's reducing the external attacks. It's way reducing the remote neural manipulation, like the mind stuff, like the depression. I'm more clear-headed and stuff like that. And then it's reducing the body pain a little bit less than the mind stuff. So that's just from what I've been kind of experiencing. Future Knowledge says our channels keep targeted individuals from committing suicide and other more detrimental acts. We guide them to nonviolent activism. Yeah, that's the only way that we're going to be able to push this thing along. We're going to have to push this thing along by we keep speaking out about it. More and more people in the public get infected with the truth about what's happening, and then more people start talking about it, and it just spreads. So you may not think your one little channel, if you make it, is doing much of a difference, but you could be talking to hundreds of targeted individuals that then decide to speak out or inspired. They may, and then a couple of non-targeted individuals hear about it and they start talking about it. And if we're all doing it, it really spreads, you know. Yeah, I shouldn't have taken out that protection from a groin. It's not as bad as it usually is without the ZBS driver. They immediately started hitting me there. Like when I took it out, they immediately, and it's not as hot as it usually is. I knew they would do that. Oh yeah. Samsonite says I get solace playing a Native American pan flute. Do you play it on YouTube or do you actually play one yourself, Samsonite? Diana Pithy says when I sing and do art, it helps a lot. Running creative energy is great for reframing my mind. Yes. Positive energy to lift it up, to lift up our resonance. Because, you know, if you're at a low resonance and stressed out and depressed, you know, it's going to be worse. These weapons are going to resonate with your nervous system. Hey, Blunt One. This how's it going? It's Blunt One. Hey, Wayne. You're not getting notifications. Yeah, if you don't like see a video for a while, like if you're watching a targeted individual and you don't click on one of their videos for a while, or they maybe don't make one for like a week or something like that, then you'll get cut off from receiving notifications. It's a new way to split up and divide and censor everybody. Like if you make a video every day, that won't happen. But a lot of targeted individuals, we can't make videos every day. I have to like have some downtime and figure some things out and work on individual stuff too. Yeah, Slack TI says multitasking through creativity especially. Yeah. Let's go. Okay, so let's go. I talked about the PACTS website. Let me show that for you guys because I do want to. They do some good stuff. Derek does some good stuff, and I just want to show y'all where you go. I'm sure all of you guys know it, but this is the PACTS site, you know, and they have all their newsletters. The latest one is Friday. You know, Richard Lovelace thing. Maybe it's maybe there's a new newsletter. There'd have to be one from December. Let me see if the new one's on the homepage. But anyway, y'all come to this website and check it out. They're doing a bunch of great stuff. Derek's doing a bunch of great stuff. And he has some people, a lot of people helping him. I think Desiree is like his second in command. I'm not sure what the title is, but she's helping a lot out. She's helping out a lot there too. So let's I just wanted tonight, I wanted to show you all that stuff on the PACTS International website. And then I kind of just wanted to go to the Targeted Justice website and go through it. Just hang out and just go through it. I think I'm gonna have to put that pod piece back on. It gets annoying. that thing is so good, but it's so uncomfortable. It's like I haven't felt like, because I have all these Q-Wave defenders on, and then I have the copper scrubbies put down my pants. So when I walk around, and I'll go outside with copper scrubbies. If I have to go to a family event or go hang out with people at the grocery store, I'll wear those copper scrubbies down my pants and the Q-Wave defenders. And I always feel like I'm just like, I have stuff hanging off of me, and I've always got to adjust it and stuff like that. And that's one of the things. But if I don't, like if I take all of it off and I feel comfortable, like I just have a shirt on and go dunk off, and just, feel free, So I'm gonna have to put that back on. I'm just sitting here. I just wanted to take it off and see. It's not hurting as bad, because they would really they hit me in the groin so hard before my defenses, that it would like hurt me. It hurt, guys, when you get hit there, and it hurts up in your stomach, like they would hurt me that bad. But now it's just kind of a little pinch. So it's different. For me, the ZBS driver tones down everything. I haven't really used the second one long enough. I gotta let it go for a week, to see what my attackers do. But I promise you guys, for 2 hours, I had no V2K, and I thought I had gotten rid of it. I was like, I got rid of it, but then it's like, after that 2 hours, they started yelling, and I could hear the yelling, and then they've got it back up now, but it's a lot lower, right? Let's see if I can hear it. Let's take a V2K break. The guy, I could only hear the guy that it's like, but I could hear the guy going, that's bullshit. I can't hear it. I can't hear it well enough like I usually can to make out what they're saying. It's very hard to explain for people who don't have audible V2K, because it's like you can hear the voice, but if you're attenuating it, it'll be like, it'll be really low to where you can't hear what they're saying, but you can hear that they're trying to say it. Okay, but I heard the woman go, I can't do this anymore. I can't hear, it's going, I can hear them trying to talk, but I can't make out what they're saying. So it's a definite difference. It's a definite difference, because usually if I'm on my live stream, I can make out a lot of what they're saying, but now it's mumblings. To me, it's mumblings. To them, they're saying stuff. The guy just goes, you got it? Okay, that's enough of the V2K break. Let me put this back in, since I'm just going to be sitting here. It's just, I was hoping like I could take it out and be comfortable. I hate this thing. And let me turn on my tablet too, guys, so I can read y'all's chat. I've got an article I can read too. We might just hang out for a while. We'll just hang out for a while and go through a bunch of stuff. Okay, so now I can read y'all's chat. NM's TI strategy guide says, Boskert, if they're messing with your walking, just flick your ears and pinch your wrist. Or get icy hot or ice, put that on your back, and that will cancel it out. Yeah, ice to the head will help. Like if you're really getting a lot of remote neural manipulation and just heating up a lot, and pain to the body, if you put ice on your head, because they have to basically heat up the brain to do a lot of these things. Microwaves work on us, the neuro weapons work on us when our body's really heated up. And Robert Duncan's talked a lot about that. So if you put ice packs on your head, that's a very cheap, simple solution, kind of a pull in case of an emergency, right? If they're hurting your nervous system, if the it will lower the V2K. It will lower the V2K if they are using microwave hearing. But there's a couple of different ways they can do V2K. If they're just using microwave hearing on you and you use ice packs, it will lower the V2K because it's actually expanding, it's heating up and expanding brain tissue. And then that frequency is going to the inner ear with microwave hearing. It actually heats up brain tissue. And that's why a lot of us, our emotions kind of go up and down, not in a natural way because we're being targeted, but they do that because brain tissue is being heated up. So you're going to feel a lot emotionally unstable. And the remote neural manipulation, there's specific pinpointed ways to mess with your emotions too, Samsonite says, Kyle, if I hold a magnet about an inch away from my left ear, I hear telemetry. Yeah, the magnets will really screw up the V2K because if they're shooting something, they can shoot something directly to your ear to make you hear stuff, or they can use microwave hearing, which is going from your brain to your inner ear. But the magnet's going to destabilize everything every electromagnetic signal going to your inner ear. So that's awesome. I need to start using magnets again. Okay, so Futurenaut says the key word the public should pay attention to in our attacks is electromagnetic. All are complaining of electromagnetic phenomena or group stalking. Yeah, that's right. Because they're going up and down the electromagnetic spectrum to hit us. Is ultrasound and infrasound electromagnetic? Because I know they use ultrasound and infrasound too, which I think is extremely low frequency, which is part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Sound is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum, right? So yeah, everything we're being hit with electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, Nicholas, yeah, that's true. Nicholas Hamlin says water is also an effective Faraday cage. Unfortunately, breathing through a tube is annoying. I'm still like I agree with that, and some people have put like water bottles all around them. But like when I take baths and stuff, and I'm underwater, they can still hit me. So I'm wondering if it blocks out certain things and not others. But no, I agree with that. Yeah, Jeff O says the hard entrainment is annoying as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jeff, buddy. And Jeff's using Dave Case's CD and the ZVS driver and some other stuff. I think he's going to start using some passive shielding that would help. But like the hard entrainment for me was really reduced with Dave Case's CD. Was really, 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 really reduced with Dave Case's CD. And I don't know if they maybe switch it. I don't know if they could do it if they wanted to. Seems like when I stopped using Dave Case's CD for a week and I replaced it with the hearing aids, they did this thing where it felt like they were grabbing my heart again, like whereas in parentheses choking my heart is the way that I would describe it. And then sometimes they will still give me like kind of an anxious feeling where my heart's palpitating, but it doesn't feel like a heart attack. Mostly on me, they're focusing on like the remote neural manipulation of my nervous system and my thoughts. And they'll do some external hits every once in a while. I think they do some external hits continuously, but since I'm using grounding, I feel them a lot different. I feel the external, like right now, there's warmth right here in my midsection. So they've got beams on me. They've still got beams of energy on me. It doesn't feel as intense. Really doesn't feel as intense. That's why I wanted to have the two. Because like sometimes like when I'm sitting around now, they're really focusing on the remote neural manipulation and the nervous system control. But then when I get on a live stream, they want to distract me and make me talk about certain things. So they'll really start like having a beam going up my leg and stuff like that. With the copper scrubbies, it can't really hurt my groin that much, which I'm going to put those on now. Yeah, we'll just hang out. We'll just hang out and go through the Targeted Justice website. Let me go in the other room for a second, guys, and put this in because I'm gonna have to unzip my pants. I don't think y'all want to. I'm gonna have to take my grounding off. I'm just gonna stand behind this door and do it. And then I got all these things hooked up to me, connected to me. All right, no peeking. Really hate it. Really hate it so much because it's so annoying and I have to constantly keep adjusting my pants. I look like a freak when I go out. I take it out if I have to see a lot of people, you know. And I went to the health food store to get some spirulina, chlorella, and CBD oil, which the chlorella and spirulina aren't that expensive, but the CBD oil is. I have to like really, really um, not take a lot of CBD oil. But I went there. I went there with my copper scrubbies in my pants, had my QA defenders on, and there was this like redheaded girl at the as the cashier, and she like was like I walked by and she looked at my crotch and like just rolled her eyes, like she thought that I was trying to uh make myself look bigger down there or something. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I don't know. I know that she just like looked at my package and rolled her eyes. So I don't know what she thought she was looking at, but I get that a lot. And I never knew so many, and I've told you all this before. I didn't know women did that. So women check out guys like that sometimes. It's a little bit embarrassing for me. I guess I'm not embarrassed. You know, I got nothing to be embarrassed about. Okay, so hey Christina. Christina Marie says, for V2K, a video that helps me block it really good with headphones is called 54 Hertz Prana Awakening. Okay, so 54 Hertz Prana Awakening. And I'm sure it's on YouTube. I use a lot of the 528 Hertz. You see, last night, I took it off there, but I usually use 528 Hertz, then Dave Case's CD. I really recommend using Dave Case's CD, guys, for everything. The V2K is going to be a little bit louder because they're going to be using noise induction. But then when you take off Dave Case's CD, it's going to be way reduced. Like the method that they use to do voice to skull within that biorelevant, oh, forget words tonight, biorelevant um, frequency loop or whatever, whatever they use for remote neural manipulation, it weakens it. So the V2K is generally lower when you're not listening to the CD. Okay, but that was called, what was that called again? 54 Hertz Prana Awakening. I'm going to try that, Christina. Ella Advocate says, sometimes wearing headphones blocks incoming waves for me for some reason, but this doesn't work for very long. Yeah, they could, and they do. It is a method that they use to just shoot frequencies directly into the ears. They don't do that much with me, but I've noticed that they do that with a lot of other targeted individuals. With me, they hit the back of my neck, and then it conducts along my skin, so it'll kind of burn the back of my neck, and then it conducts along the skin of the vestibular system, or they just do the, like I'll feel warmth around my entire head. And I'll show you all that article from MIT on a live stream this week. I'm going to be doing some little shorter videos so I can go through some really, Tanya says, Kyle, you are funny. Jared Ritter says, I got a small package. LOL. Dude, I get some weird freaking looks, but it's like, that my attackers, it's like it deters them from hitting that spot all the time if I have those copper scrubbies there, because it feels like they can't be sure if it's hurting me. So just tonight, and this kind of proves it, just tonight I took it out, sitting by the ZVS drivers to see how it would do, and it's a lot less painful, but they immediately went for that spot. Like it seems like for guys and women, they're gonna immediately go for the groin for sexual trauma, because that messes with us a lot more than just regular trauma. To be that, and that's why they do this stuff where they'll like shoot you in the behind, in the butthole, or the front, because sexual trauma affects the brain way more than just regular trauma. You can get through normal bodily pain and trauma way easier than you can get through sexual trauma. And that's why they do that. That's why they do all the weird sexual stuff, because it messes with our brain. It messes with our neural pathways a lot more. And it messes with us psychologically a lot more. Nah, Wayne Moore says I will time out. I'm sure you're fine. Yeah, Wayne said pray for Jared's package. I'm sure I don't have anything to write home about, but I've never had any complaints. I'm going to stop talking. Yeah, definitely got to stop talking. I have a girlfriend. But we're long distance, so yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop talking there. I'm going to stop talking there. Let's go through this website. I think she must be sleeping. She came to my live stream the other night. I wish she was here though. He had a big day today. We're like on opposite schedules. So Target in Michigan said, "You give me inspiration, you really do. Even though I truly don't want to wake up to another day, at least I have my TI family like you on YouTube." Yeah. Yeah, as long as we can get together and spread information in whatever way is possible, it's going to give us a lot more hope. It's going to give us a lot more hope, and it's going to make us feel a lot more proactive. Being proactive, this is what I was telling. I think I was talking to another targeted individual last night, and I'm going to play this video. Well, there's a lot of things that really help me. But one thing that has helped, because the defenses do work well when you put them together, and I've told y'all this before, but it gives me a lot of hope to like try something new or order something new. And you can do this with cheap stuff that works. And you keep that hope. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to get this next defense. How much is that going to help? And it keeps you in this proactive cycle that you're doing something. You're neutralizing these, terrorist, satanic people. And you're going to feel better, and it keeps you in this positive cycle of moving forward and up, instead of just sitting in what you're sitting in and not really doing anything. You really don't see an end in sight, right? But if you do certain things that are going to make you feel better, even in, like Diana was saying, creative stuff, art stuff, you're creating, you're being proactive. You're not just like complaining about how bad this is and everything, which we need to do sometimes. Like, I'm not insulting anybody, right? We've got to complain about how bad the system is, the worst thing ever. But in that proactive cycle, you start to really climb up, and you're in a way better psychological state also. And at this point, it's like it's been a journey of fighting this and neutralizing it for me. But if I look back, like years ago, I was in a much more negative state. I was much more like, I would yell at my attackers and threaten them, and stuff like that. And now I'm like past that. I'm focused on y'all. I'm focused on defense. I'm focused on neutralizing them as some kind of sickness or whatever, which that gets complicated because this is not schizophrenia. This is not mental illness. This is actual automated systems with human operators hitting us with electromagnetic frequencies and doing all this gang stalking crap. But if you treat it, like if you think about it, these people in these automated as a disease where you need to do certain things to get to neutralize it, it's better than thinking of them as these people that you're fighting. And that's a tough one because it is people, it is human operators, it's automated systems. But if you think of it as like a disease, that they're a disease, right? These people are a disease. Just think of them as a disease you need to neutralize to get them quieter. It helps you more. It helps you more to not get so angry. Doing a little bit of mental gymnastics is good sometimes, but be careful with that. Jeff O says Cheryl's sleeping. Yeah, I think a lot of people probably sleep. We all have weird sleep cycles. Yeah, Robert Williams says, Kyle, did they use heat on you? Yeah, they've used heat on me just in this live stream. Hey, Lion Lamb. Lion and the Lamb says, hello everyone. I have the flu. Why did they not attack horribly when you are sick? They pull back the punches. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's gotten to that point. Sometimes it gets weird for me too, Lion and Lamb. My attackers, it's like, even though they're really psychotic and they enjoy this, it's been so many years that they will pull off sometimes. It's gotten too weird for even these kind of ex-military guys who kill. It's gotten even too psychotic for them. And they give me breaks sometimes. It gets kind of weird. It gets kind of weird, and I think this is, we've got to think about it. This has always been going on since like 1950, but a lot more targeted individuals were pulled in around 2008 to 2012. That means that a whole lot more human operators were put into doing this, and those human operators have been doing it on shift work they just began like in 2008, 2012, right? A lot more of those jobs, those high clearance jobs of torturing Americans. And so they're at their like 10th year of doing it, or their 8th year of doing it, or whatever. And they're getting kind of creeped out because they thought that something else was going to happen. They thought that their target was going to act differently or something like that. And we're just doing activism and being good people. So I think that this psychological thing is happening with the people who are attacking. That's a theory. That's a theory by how my attackers are reacting, because I know some people would disagree with me, and their attackers are just really psychotic to them all the time and never let up. So it's kind of different from case to case, right? And it's different variables from case to case. Hey, Drunken Ninja. Drunken Ninja says, need a soundproof room with an air sound buffer and a double Faraday cage to do a blind test. Dude, that's some great experimentation, man. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead and try that, man. I gotta do the Faraday. I got that big mound of microwaves. I need to do that grow room and just put all the stuff around the grow room and just put it right in the corner of my room and just build on the grow room. And then I'll have the CBS drivers going. I bet you I can get like 97%. Well, the problem with me is I think that I have an implant. So if I didn't have an implant, I'm thinking I could get to like 100% of blocking this stuff. But I think until I can get that implant out, and people are working on that. There's a lot of people working on that. So I've been going for a while. Let's go through some of this website, guys, and I'll read y'all's chats too. Let's read some of the most recent news. I wanted to go through, because what intrigued me the most, and I haven't looked at it yet, which I should have. But look at this. Okay, if you are wrongfully targeted, please report it to the House Oversight Committee. So there's a link to report this to the House Oversight Committee on the Targeted Justice website. The thing that I really wanted to look at, the PERP handbook. I wanted to look at the PERP handbook and see what that's all about. So the FBI's official PERP manual, confidential human source policy guide, valuable in any court case. Many thanks to the whistleblower in the intercept.com. The FBI refers to their gang stalkers as confidential human sources. So I guess that would be gang stalkers who do vehicular stalking, who do street theater, infiltrators, fake TIs, they would be called confidential human sources. So let's check this out. I'm going to pull up the link. Does it have? Okay, here it is. There's down. Okay, so FBI's official PERP manual. And this is a quote: the CIA and FBI are behind most, if not all, terrorism. Ted Gunderson, former FBI chief. So the intercept.com obtained this 2015 document from a whistleblower, but no one has understood its real purpose. This is the official manual for recruiting, training, and paying the perps, 195 pages. The FBI will deny it and lie about it because they are required to under security clearance. The FBI calls it confidential human source policy guide. So this is it right here. Let's read the Intercept article about it. Well, no, let's go. Let's just go. Let's just look at it. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and then come back to this page. It's like 195 pages. So let's all look at this. Hey, Barefoot Sungator says, Kyle, is it always people you think, or do you think sometimes it's AI, or AI is just facilitating it all and telling the human operators what to say, when to say it? I think that some targeted individuals have total AI on them. They have it's completely automated systems with no human operators. I think a lot of targeted individuals have human operators on automated systems. They're learning from the automated systems. The automated systems are learning from them how to do things, how to attack a person, how to do the remote neural manipulation and things like that. They put things manually in the AI learns from it. So I think it's both. It's like some targeted individuals have complete automation. They have automated integrated weapon systems where there's no human operators and somebody maybe just comes and checks on it. But then you have a lot of targeted individuals who have shift work, hive mind team members on it, 24 hours a day. They may switch out 3 times a day or whatever, 2 or 3 people on a hive mind team. And then those human operators work with the AI. So I think that it's both. I think that there's probably more right now, there's probably more human operators working with the automated systems. But yeah, what you're tied to, what Brian Tua says is correct. You're tied to this adaptive, falsified stream of energy that's really run by automated systems. So let's just take me for example. This is kind of what I hypothesize, and I'm pretty sure I'm on point here. I have shift workers that are working with it. They have monitors and whatever they use on their integrated weapons platforms, and they're tied into what the AI is doing. So there's a stream of energy that's attached to me that is run by the AI. They can manually input stuff, but it's going to stay tied in, and then they can do manual stuff around that, external hits. They can put in certain things for remote neural manipulation. They can manually say stuff on chat on the V2K, but the chatterbox is always running because there's all these different software, chatterbox softwares, but then they use on their integrated weapon systems too. So I think that it's some targeted individuals, and I think it'd be a smaller percentage of all targeted individuals. I think, well, I don't know about that. I don't know the percentages, but I know that some targeted individuals have complete automation. And those, if you do think that your targeting is completely automated, you need to use some of these defenses because the AI might not be able to manually adapt as well as a human operator team. They'll know what you're using, and they'll be able to look up stuff about how to get past it and then put it into the system. But the problem is when a human operating team does that, the AI learns from that, and it learns how to adapt to that specific situation, right? So the AI is constantly learning from the human operators when they're manually adjusting and trying to get through and trying to do certain psychological things. The AI is constantly learning how to hurt people more. So it's both. I think, but I do think that some targeted individuals have completely automated targeting. And then they may have somebody who comes in every week and just checks and sees if it's running, right? I do really think that. I don't think mine is though. Yeah, Jeffo says I agree with Barefoot. But you said, or AI is just facilitating it all and telling the human operators what to say and when to say. No, I think it'd be the other way around. I think the human operators help the AI along. If there's a confusing situation in which AI doesn't know exactly the thing to do, the human operators would be there to manually help the AI to adapt to certain things. Then the AI knows that forever. Then the AI saves that and grows, So these human operators are really helping this AI to become more and more evil and more capable of handling variable situations. It's really sick. I mean, they're creating a monster. They're creating a monster that it could be like Terminator one day. It's very close right now, but it could seriously, like, this AI could get very smart because it's collecting all the information, all these different targeted individuals. It's collecting all this different information how to attack them, and it's all correlating it. It's all collecting it, and it goes into like three main. I don't know how many quantum computers they have, D-Wave computers, but I know that it's all collected. It's all collected and centralized. All that knowledge, all that information of what's happening. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says if you're in a Faraday cage, your implant won't be able to send or receive information. Well, that's what you know. I built that Faraday bunker, and I couldn't receive anything to my phone or send anything from my phone. And then it started to be able to get through. That's what I think happened with the ZVS drivers. I think that it was garbling the signal to my implant because it messes up my computer, messes up the Wi-Fi, the ZVS drivers do, and it messes up my phone too. It makes it slower to get messages and things like that. So it does, like the Z, even if I have an, and I think I do have an implant like in my jaw or one of my teeth over here somewhere, or in my shoulder, somewhere over here. It does stop the signal, but I think that, yeah, well, I don't know. I think that it's the ZVS driver and stuff like that. It has an easier time blocking the remote stuff from like radar, from over the horizon radar, or the phased array antennas in the microwave towers that are pointed at me. It has a lot easier time doing that when it's just hitting my external body than the signal going to the implant. I think that's a lot more intense, solid connection that they have. If y'all kind of get what I'm saying. Yeah, Tanya says future they are rotten murderers. Yes, definitely. Yeah, Jeanette says the CIA and FBI need to be dismantled. They are very corrupt. Yeah. Artist of L. Elliot says to keep the target emotionally unstable on a roller coaster is one of their goals. It makes you easier to manipulate. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I found that the more emotionally stable and how I can just get my brain kind of balanced, then I can make better decisions. I can deal with this stuff better. You start climbing up. You start climbing up and just balancing your brain, balancing your emotions. You know, it is possible. I haven't gotten there 100%, but I plan on getting to like 95% at least. Right now, from how it was like in the beginning, wow, it's so much better. Like it's so much better. Like sometimes I have to do that because I still get some torture, I still get the V2K. But yesterday I sat there and I said, I remember when I was tortured so bad, it felt like my head was going to explode. The high-pitched tinnitus sound, and I didn't really have any defenses. And I said, if I could just make it a little bit, if I could just have 50% relief, but I have more than 50% relief. I have like 80% relief from how bad it was like in 2013 or whatever. I have 80%, 80 to 90% less. Maybe not on everything but the V2K. On everything but the V2K. The V2K is like at about a 40%, 40 to 30% of the highest it's ever been. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says, I gave my perps a good talking to today, and now they're a lot more quiet. You shut them up, Drunken Ninja? Jared Ritter says, everybody in chat targeted. I hope not. I hope that there are a lot of non-targeted people coming to these videos, in these chat rooms. I mean, not agents, right? I want real real people who are not targeted individuals looking at this information, because we need their help, especially people like, because they're going to have a lot more energy than us. Like Meigs B and stuff like that. We need a lot more non-targeted individuals helping. Barefoot Sungazer says, do you guys think all gang stalkers are chipped? Some of them probably. Some of them, it's probably just like us, like targeted individuals. Some gang stalkers have probably been chipped before in their life, and they can be tracked. But then some don't have implants. It's all. I think it's all just so complicated and just messed up, and it's hard to figure out. It's all just some people got this, some people got that, some people got this, some people got that. All these different variables. Hmm. Okay, let's go through some of this, guys. Hey, Feather. Hey, Feather. Hey, no whining. Future Knowledge says, I think Ted Gunderson tried to root out corruption from the FBI. Yeah, I think he was murdered. I think he was targeted and murdered. I think they tried to poison him a bunch of times. And I don't understand. I just don't understand why that lady Barbara Hartwell, she talks so poor. She says that he was an agent. Um, and I wouldn't understand that, because he's the one who let the public know about, like, he was the first person in the FBI to let people know about a lot of this stuff. So I don't see why they'd even have somebody talking about it at all, if the public wasn't aware of any of it. So I don't know. I guess I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to say what I think about Barbara Hartwell. There's a lot of, I just think that a lot of people who come out swinging on this person's perp, this person's perp, this person's perp, this person, everybody's perp, I think they're the perp, because I think that this deceit, it's gotten to the point where the deceivers know that we're becoming more sophisticated and smarter, right? So they got to beat us to the punch. They got to start accusing us of what they're about to do, right? So that's what I've gotten from a lot of people who are perpetrators. They accuse me, and they say, oh, this and then they do it to me. So then if I say, oh, you're doing this to me, they're like, no, I said that first, right? So I think the deceit has just gotten to a level of sophistication where I mean, it's a destroyer. Deceit is a destroyer. We need to be honest and tell the truth. The deceitfulness and the COINTELPRO and all this crap has gotten to a point where I think even some of the people who lie and stuff like that, they've lost themselves. Well, no, I think all of them lose themselves, and I think that's the point of it. Like, I think some of these perpetrators, well, I'm not going to call them microwave killers that are torturing me, but they're not nearly killing me now. I might get cancer or something. Okay, let me try and order. My thoughts aren't that organized tonight, but I think that they lose themselves. They start playing a role, and they can't keep track of who they are, right? So I think we've got an advantage there. We know who we are. We are who we are. We're honest. We're truthful. These gang stalkers play a role, or fake TIs play a role. They're going to mess themselves up psychologically. They're not going to remember who they are. You know what I'm saying? We've got a lot of advantages against them. We don't have to pretend to be anything. We can tell the truth. We have the moral high ground. So we have a lot of advantages. They're going to eventually need to help us. Like, the people who are doing this stuff, they're going to eventually have to find out how damaging it is to the human race and their own kids and everything. So we're just waiting on people to understand how destructive this is to the human race. Like, we're right. This is really bad for everyone. They're making some money or something like that. But eventually they will discover that it's gonna harm them. I mean, we've got a lot of advantages here. We're in the complete right. We're in the moral and logical right here too. None of this technology is worth destroying humanity, and it's not just being used for advancements in consumer products, medical products, and military weapons. Being used to destroy humanity, to try and devolve us, that's not going to work. but it's being used for bigger things than what these people who are attacking us have been told and compartmentalized. It's being used to destroy them as well, and they don't know that. So a lot of people are going to start figuring this out, that there's a much bigger picture than just their little compartmentalized action. And they're gonna eventually, if they have any intelligence, pragmatic or otherwise at all, they're gonna have to join us. They're gonna have to join us in fighting this, because this is human race, all of us, even the people being used to gang stalk and do all this crap, versus the top of the pyramid. The top of the pyramid knows that when it's getting these people in fraternal organizations and stuff to work for them, they don't care about those people. They're going to kill those people later. We're all chattel to them. Chattel, cattle, chattel. Is that how you say that, chattel? I don't know. Yeah, Nicholas Hamlin says brain junkies. I get it from my attackers that it's a job. I get from my attackers that they think they're. I asked them one synthetic telepathy. I said, "What would you guys say you are?" Because I always call them like, "You're not a soldier" and stuff like that. Because it seems like they're ex-military, and they put back on synthetic telepathy. They think that they are scientists. And that hurt my life, because science done with immorality. I guess there are advancements from it, but they just seem poison to me. And it seems like even in the field of science, there has to be justice, there has to be honor. And I don't know. So my attackers, it doesn't seem like they're getting a high off of my thoughts or anything like that. It just seems like I think they do get a high off of like dominating over a person or hurting a person, but it seems like they really feel like they're carrying out a duty for this country. Now that could be, it could be surveillance role playing, but it just seems like they're ex-military and now they think that they are scientist soldiers. They think that they're doing research and stuff like that. I know that Kevin Christian says they like get high off our brain waves and they love watching us and stuff like that. I don't get from my attackers that they love watching. Because like I watch Netflix, I research stuff. I'm pretty boring. I put my defenses up. And I kind of sit by them. I have a pretty boring life, and I think they feel like it's a duty that, and it is duty. It's poo-poo, but they feel like it's a duty uh, from their higher ups, from up the chain, and they just got to do this, and that's what they learn, in the army or whatever. And I think that my attackers are not army. I think that they're Air Force. I think they're ex-Air Force, and I think they went to work for a contractor under the NSA, not necessarily Air Force Research Laboratory. They went to work for a contractor under the NSA. That's just my hypothesis, and it just seems like they feel like they have to do this for this country. It feels like they have, as I've learned more, and you guys have learned more, and we've gone through some information and stuff, learning how this is like a global thing, and they're really pitting countries against each other so that it can be a global mind control system. It seems like certain ones on the human operating team have kind of like, they know I'm right. They know I'm not trying to manipulate. I'm just looking at the truth. And they kind of like started to feel differently about what they're doing. That could also be a psyop. But some of them definitely don't care. Like the guy is just like, I don't give an F. That's what he says. He says, I don't give an F. We got to do this. It doesn't matter. Like none of this stuff matters. He doesn't care if his kids will be, raped in the future or whatever by these weapons. He just, doesn't care. It's just for now. He's got to do this. That's his obligation to this system, this sick system, right? And I said that to somebody else the other night. I said, because we were talking, and they said, the world is sick. And I said, well, no, not necessarily the world. People are sick, because when systems are sick, when there's a bunch of sick systems, you get sick people. So if we can heal these systems, we can heal people. They can checks and balances and doing the right thing and not greed, but like balance. then people will be balanced. That's why this country was so great for so long. Now, it was built on the blood of the Indians, right? And that wasn't right. But then when it got started, people did kind of go along with the Constitution. They went along with freedom, and people were awesome. People in America, and a lot of people in America still have that in them, right? That's a great strength that we've got to use. There are still a lot of great, courageous Americans. We've maybe lost a lot of our backbone, but they're still there, and they still have the principles that the founding fathers built this country with. That's a strong person, right? When you get a system that's built on justice and honor and honoring other people in your family and the people who live in your country, you get very strong people. That's why I really agree with Donald Trump on his sense of nationalism. We don't need to have a global system. People will stop it. People won't matter. We have a global system where everybody will just basically be food for the state. We need nationalism. We need these different countries to be separate so we can be proud of our heritage and our culture. It makes stronger people. If everything in the world is all the same, then it's just like, oh, we're all just human beings. I mean, unless it can be something like Star Trek, where it's like we got our world and there are other worlds and stuff like that, and we're proud of our world. I think that would be cool. That would make strong people. But I think that we really do need a sense of nationalism, being proud of our heritage and things, and holding on to those things. It makes very strong people. You know? Yeah. Jackie Kelly says, yep, Tanya, that's true. We cannot allow them to separate us. There is strength in numbers. Yes, there is definitely strength in numbers. Definitely. Messenger of the Cross says, what will it take, folks? You're going to let them kill your family members with cancer? I sure as hell not. No, I'm not either. And what we can do, Messenger of the Cross, just start making videos, guys. Join up with Targeted Justice. Join up with PACTS. Like we got to go to these rallies. I'm gonna get a used car as soon as I can, and I'm gonna be going to more of these rallies and doing things, working with doctors. Like we just gotta push through. But on some levels, we gotta make holes for other targeted individuals to jump through. And on other levels, we've got to build up things like these rallies, radio shows, social media, and everything. I mean, they're trying to do that thing where you don't get notifications because information is spreading, right? But the deck is stacked. The deck is stacked. And I'll tell you what, and people may say I'm crazy, but these social media outlets are directly connected to the Pentagon and the military-industrial complex. They have the say-so on how they deal with information. And it's not like the boss of YouTube or whatever it works for the Pentagon, but there's a connection to it, right? And certain specific orders go down, and it says, this kind of information needs to be taken out. All the new stuff on YouTube about bullying, right? You can't bully somebody. Like they could take down all of my videos because I'm bullying the people microwaving me to death, right? I say bad stuff about these people microwave. The algorithms could see that I'm saying bad stuff about somebody and take down all of my videos. They can use these things that they're saying, oh, we need to take down bullying, just in any way that they want to take down channels. So they make these rules to censor things in whatever way that they want. Okay, so confidential human source policy guide. So, and I'm going to put these links. I'm just going to put the link to the Targeted Justice website. I'll put the link to the PACTS to the PACTS International website, and then I'll put this link of the PDF. But we might go through some other stuff. Let's say this is 195 pages. Confidential human source policy guide. But let me go out and back in. I'm not sure if y'all can see this. Okay, confidential human source policy guide, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Director of Intelligence, 0836 PG, September 21st, 2015. General information, so it's confidential human source policy guide. General information, questions or comments pertaining to this policy guide can be directed to Federal Bureau of Investigation Headquarters, Directorate of Intelligence, Division Point of Contact, Section Chief Human Operations, right? And that's surveillance, PSYOPs. things like that. Supersession information. This document supersedes the following. Redacted. All electronic communications related to confidential human source operations dated prior to the publication of this policy guide. All that's redacted. Good. Let's see if there's any useful information down here. Scope, purpose, intended audience, authorities, approval levels, and delegation. Yeah, so this is a civilian army, guys. Like a civilian PSYOP army. And what they put into these people's heads is like they're going to fight terrorism and bad people, domestic terrorists, but they are becoming the domestic terrorists, right? Pulling PSYOPs on innocent Americans, while innocent Americans are being microwaved. Wow, this thing is really long. Let's just see. Let's see if there's like some condensed information. Okay, scope, introduction, scope. The Federal Bureau of Investigation recruits and operates confidential human sources to obtain intelligence, which advances investigative program priorities, meets national and FBI intelligence collection requirements, and through dissemination supports objectives of the United States government's intelligence and law enforcement communities. The Directorate of Intelligence maintains responsibility for these activities through the development and oversight of the FBI's CHS program, so a confidential human source program. This policy guide applies to the use of CHS program in all investigative and intelligence collection activities conducted by the FBI in the United States, its territories, outside the territories of all countries, and foreign countries. The CHS-PG is for internal guidance. It is not intended to create an enforceable legal right. Wow. So keep this away from the public is what they're saying, because we don't want to create anything where the public can have a legal right to recourse. It's not intended to create an enforceable legal right or a private right of action by a CHS or any other person. Any conflict between these guidelines and the Attorney General's guidelines regarding the use of FBI confidential human sources or the Attorney General's guidelines for domestic FBI operations must be resolved in favor of the AGGs. Purpose of this PG is to standardize CHS program policies so that they are consistently and uniformly applied to the extent possible in all FBI investigative programs. This will promote compliance with relevant AGGs and facilitate the development of CHSs to engage in cross-program reporting. Cross-program reporting, right? So you got a gang stalker who's like vehicular stalking, and then you got somebody that's doing on-the-ground gang stalking, street theater. Then you may have somebody in your life, like a friend or something, who's cooperating with these programs and being an informant, doing PSYOPs on you or something like that. So they can they can put all that information together, right? Seeing you were at this place at this time, and then like your friend or some of you guys, your family may be involved in this. I've had people around me like on the phone, on text with me. They acted like they were targeted individuals, and on text with me, they were saying, "Why are you eating so much Philly cheesesteak?" Right as I was putting Philly cheesesteak in the freezer. And these are people who had acted like targeted individuals and like talked to me for a long period of time, and they were doing PSYOPs on me and stuff like that. So there's a lot of these programs where they're called informants, right? They're called informants because there's no accountability and nobody knows about these programs. They go into the PSYOPing, and we're going to use this to because we're being experimented on with remote neural manipulation, right? So they use these PSYOP agents or informants to do psychological operations, and it gets so twisted. But then they just have these policy guides on like, oh, it's just informants, blah blah blah. Because it's gotten so corrupt. They do way more things than just informing about somebody, because they're not just surveilling us and informing on us. They're murdering us and experimenting on us, but then they're saying something different with all these little policy things like this. Very, very corrupt. I mean, we all know that. Right? We all know that. The U/FOUO, the critical components of the CHS program addressed in this PG are as follows. The roles and responsibilities of FBI personnel and task force officers with regard to CHS program activities. Let's see if there's anything really, really incriminating for them, to them in this. The language is all very general and very careful not to say exactly what they do. Roles and responsibilities at CHS program management and oversight, assistant directors in charge, special agents in charge, assistant special agents in charge, and supervisory special agents. The SAC of each FO is responsible for ensuring that the FO has a CHS program that contributes to the FBI's collective human intelligence base. ADICs, SACs, and members of the FO's investigative and intelligence operations management staff, including ASACs and SSAs, must ensure that the FO fulfills its intelligence collection and information dissemination responsibilities in compliance with FBI protocols, rules, and regulations, including those contained in this PG. Although the SAC is charged with the ultimate responsibility for the FO's CHS program, daily oversight responsibility for PCHSs and CHSs resides with the SSA, who must review all communications regarding the CHSs or on his or her squad and supervise the special agents operating those CHSs. So, I mean, like, this is a bunch of complicated stuff. They're going to use a bunch of acronyms. They're going to use a bunch of acronyms. They're going to use a bunch of really generalized, weird language. But what's really going on is, I mean, they're creating these groups of informants and PSYOPs agents that do very dangerous stuff to citizens who are being experimented on and tortured. You know, and they're going to use all this language to make it look like, if anybody found this, to make it look like, oh, well, it's just this really complicated special agent stuff. But to show this is just showing how much this is spread to so many civilians signing up with these things to be informants, to be agents, and then they're doing PSYOP protocol on people. And why would you, if you think you found somebody dangerous, why the hell, when you're surveilling them, would you try and PSYOP them and agitate them? Why would you try and do that, right? So it just shows how corrupt all this stuff is. SSA program management responsibilities may not be delegated to non-agent personnel. Supervisory intelligence analysts do, however, have critical oversight responsibilities with regard to the identification and evaluation of PCHSs as set forth in Section 3. Identification, evaluation, and recruitment of confidential human sources in Type 5 assessments. You okay? Pepper was kind of growling over there. Okay, baby. Love you. Love you. Okay, so confidential. Let's see if there's anything that's not like super just. Look at all the acronyms. Is it no, it's not. What is it called? What's it called when you do a title, but it's just the letters? It's not an acronym, is it? What is that? Somebody help me out there. Messenger of the Cross says gaslighting is a 24-hour thing with these filth. They live for it. Yeah, gaslighting. Gaslighting is the term, Messenger of the Cross. When they do something to you and then they treat you like you're insane, that's gaslighting, and it is the 24-hour day thing. And it's like it's ingrained in these programs, right? Gaslighting. psychological operations. They're not just informing about any kind of dangerous people, because we're not dangerous people. This is so corrupt that they're murdering American citizens, then just making up shit about them, then just psyoping them and gaslighting them and trying to get them wound up so that the remote neural manipulation and the attacks can work better. I mean, this stuff is way, way out to the edge of the universe, how corrupt it is. And it's not just taking care of things and keeping order, making sure that bad guys, it's creating the terrorists. It's creating these informants and psyop agents for the terrorists. They're creating trouble in our communities. And then they're just picking normal people, me and you guys, who haven't done crimes. And they're like, well, we're just going to make it out like this person's a criminal and that their life can be destroyed. I mean, it's just gone so far out to the edge of the universe of evil. I don't know if we're going to get any very useful info from it, but it's a good document. It's a good document showing that it exists, you know. Case agent and co-case agent roles. The CA of the PCHS or the CH must be an FBI SA. Each SA, with the exception of the CHSC, has a core responsibility to create and maintain a CHS base to provide vital information supporting FBI investigative and national intelligence priorities. And what would be a national intelligence priority? Testing these weapons on people, using remote neural manipulation and neuro weapons on people. So the responsibility to create, maintain CHS base to provide vital information, supporting FBI investigative and national intelligence priorities. So they've got to support torture. These programs with informants and PSYOP agents and gang stalkers and everything like that, especially from InfraGard and the FBI, has to support experimentation and torture of United States citizens for training, research, and development on directed energy weapon systems and neuro weapons. If you just get all these little compartmentalized people who write their little documents and say blah blah blah, we got it, and none of these people know the extent of the evil that they're involved. They know what evil they're involved in. I'm throwing that out. That's thrown out. All these people doing this, they can figure out from listening to targeted individuals, their citizens being attacked and cooked by microwaves, they can figure it out. If they don't want to figure it out, that means that they could have known what it was, and it's very easy, and therefore they disregarded it, and they are liars, and they do know about this. So, okay. The SAC may grant an exception to this responsibility when an SA is assigned to duties that logically preclude CHS operation. This exception must be documented in a written EC maintained in the FO CHS program management file. In addition to an assigned CA, every CHS must have a co-CA assigned and identified. Co-CA has all the same duties, responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. What is that called when they use letters, like there's a title, like FBI? It's not an acronym, right? I can't remember what that word is. Did somebody put that in chat? Yeah, Ella Advocate says gaslighting is just response seeking, looking for a response, but of someone. Yeah, that's true. It's looking for a response, but it's also psyoping. I mean, when you're gaslit, it's trying to psychologically agitate you and make you suspicious, you know? Okay, hey, hold on. Corey wants me to tell you guys about this video real quick. So let me pull it up. I think it's from Richie from Boston. Okay, let me switch screens. I want to tell you all about this video. Corey, I don't know if I'm going to go through it tonight, but Corey wants me to tell you all about this. So hold on, let me see. So it's just basically saying like they have all these co-case agents and case agents, and like it's showing basically the tree that they work in to have informants down at the bottom, and they report to this managerial group, then they report to that managerial group. Task force officers as co-case agent. Although they are non-agent personnel, TFOs who have received the requisite clearances to be detailed to an FBI task force may be assigned as co-CAs for PCHs and CHSs. An SSA may assign a TFO as a co-CA by approving the opening communication for either a PCHS or a CHS in which the TFO is named as a co-CA. What? I'm gonna have to go through this, not on video, because like a lot of it's recruitment of confidential human sources in Type 5 assessments for guidance on Type 5 assessments. However, due to personal safety issues, the fluid nature of operational activities involving interaction with the public and other policy constraints, IAs are not permitted to engage PCHS or public in operational settings during the course of a Type 5 assessment, including in online venues. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, look at that. Or the public in operational settings during the course of a Type 5 assessment, including an online venue. So there are agents online. There are informants online, like targeted individuals have been saying the entire time. There are people in chat rooms, on people's videos, conference calls. They put agents in there, informants, people to say, hey, I'm gonna calm down here. I'm sorry. Sorry for the cussing, guys. I might be cussing a lot. God understands. God understands. Online venues. There are people in an online venue, when you have somebody coming into a targeted individual chat room or something, if they want to get certain information or whatever, or gaslight, they're gonna have to say, hey, I'm a targeted individual, right? Like, I didn't know how bad that was. Like, I was like, no way would fake targeted individuals like make videos and stuff like that. They do. Like, I'm not one. I'm a real targeted individual, but it's people who I thought were a little bit too paranoid. They're right. They're right. But I mean, it's like, it's hard to talk about that stuff because regular people can barely understand how badly people are being microwaved and stuff like that. Okay, so Type 5 assessment, including in online venues as described, use of covert, I can't read that, by IAs on publicly accessible websites. Use of covert applications by IAs on publicly, look at that. Use of covert applications, I'm pretty sure, by IAs on publicly accessible websites. Prohibitions on FBI personnel is in the identification, evaluation, and recruitment of PCHs and the development of operation of CHSs. For the purposes of this section, FBI personnel includes TFOs acting as co-CAs and any other detailee participating in the operation, oversight, analysis, or recruitment of an FBI, CHS, or PCHS. Dude, this is, it is like, it'll make us seem so paranoid. It'll make us seem so paranoid. And that's why I don't tell my mom about like agents and informants and fake TIs and stuff like that, because she just starts to think I'm schizophrenic. But this is true. Like, they're filling up every country. They're not just torturing and murdering people and using remote neural weapons on them. They're getting all these agents and people that act like they're in the group to disrupt the group, to target certain individuals in those groups. This is happening. And they're turning every country into this communist, technocratic, like just turning everybody against each other. They find people who maybe are in a hot spot or something, and they say, hey, we can clear your record if you just do this, if you just, go in there, say your TI, whatever. They really do this stuff. And I knew that, but I didn't know, I kind of didn't know how convoluted and complicated it got with the FBI and the NSA and the CIA and stuff like that. and how they're really trying. I mean, in like I think Messenger of the Cross has said it before. They're trying to create civilian armies secretly. They're trying to do it, real carefully. Tell the civilians that get involved with gang stalking or psyoping or being informants, like, oh, my attacker just blanked my mind. But just tell them that they're fighting terrorism and stuff as they secretly, slowly build this, and tell them that they can't tell anybody, right? They tell them that they have to sign some kind of documentation saying they can't talk about this, because people are like, well, if there's so many gang stalkers and stuff, why hasn't somebody talked about this? Because they can be arrested. They can be put in jail if they talk about this. When somebody goes and works for a DHS fusion center, they sign something that says if they talk about this publicly, they could be put in jail for like 5 years or something like that. Maybe 10 years, I don't know, or fined $100,000. So that's why you don't have a bunch of people who they may quit, right? They may find out that they're hurting people, they're hurting target individuals, they may quit or something like that. Like people who gang stalk, but they would never come out and tell the public that they gang stalk for DHS fusion centers, because they would be put in jail. And that's how they keep it quiet. So everybody's like, well, how do they keep all this quiet if so many people are involved in it? Because the people who are doing it are part of this massive system that has all these resources. And if anybody talks about it, they can find them and put them in jail or give them a fine or whatever, or target them also. This is a worldwide mess, and we all knew it. And we all knew it. This is a good document, but I think I need to go through. It gets boring reading it like this. Let's see. Prohibitions on FBI personnel and the identification, evaluation, and recruitment of PCHs and the development of operation of CHs. For the purposes of this section, FBI personnel includes TFOs acting as co-CAs, open an FBI contractor as a CHS, unless the following criteria are something documented on the main file. In the performance of his or her duties under the contract, the contractors association as the contractor with the FBI could not reasonably be discerned by someone in the subject's position, unless the subject's knowledge of the relationship is relevant to the assessment or predicated investigation in which the CHS will be used. So it's like you could have a contractor for the FBI, right? And then they get a community confidential human source, and the confidential human source wouldn't even know that they're working for the FBI. The confidential human source wouldn't even know that that contractor was contracting from the FBI. And so in this way, they keep people doing things, but not even knowing who they're doing them for. Okay. Have any role in the operation or oversight of the CHS or PCHS, who is the employee's spouse, significant other, relative. Oh, what? Oh, they nepotism. They get their families to do it. So, okay, have any role in the operation or oversight of the CHS or PCHS, who is the employee's spouse, significant other, relative, or other person whose relationship to the employee could create the appearance of a personal. Pepper. 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 I think Pepper has to go use the bathroom. Okay. Engage in sexual or unduly familiar social relationships with any CH. Oh, they're saying you can't do that. Or I mean, they can't do that. We can't do that. Okay, prohibitions. Okay. This is kind of confusing me. Non-agent investigative staff. Non-agent FBI investigative staff are not permitted to be assigned as CAs or co-CAs. You gotta go use the bathroom, baby. Okay, I think my dog has diarrhea. Okay, I might have to wrap this up tonight, but I'll do live stream tomorrow, guys. Weird. She's been fine lately. I think my attackers are doing that. And that's 195 pages of just really complicated stuff. I'm gonna look through it and see if I can find anything useful. I'll put it in the description for the video, guys. What you didn't need anything bad? All right. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go walk my dog. She's like in emergency mode. Um, yeah, but just check out the Targeted Justice website and check out the check out the PACTS website. I'll be doing some more live streams soon. Hey, thank you, Laurie. Laurie Smith says, thanks, Kyle, you were helpful. Yeah, check out these links. I wanted to go through some more of the Targeted Justice website, which I may do like later this week. Future Knowledge says, good night, Colin, and love everyone on this live stream. Yeah, guys, I love you guys. Love you guys. I really gotta get my dog. She's like going nuts. And I just want to end it on this. Like, my attackers didn't like me going through that information. I'm gonna put that up on the description. They do this to my dog. They make her, like, they remote manipulate her, and they make her have to use the bathroom whenever I'm doing important videos. I'm gonna have to figure out something, but she's like in a lot of pain. She's in a lot of pain. All right, guys, I love y'all. I gotta hurry. I love y'all. Thanks for coming. Corey sent me a video that he wants everybody to watch, and I'll put that out on my next live stream. I'm gonna try and do more because I'm feeling more energy. It is. It's working. It's working very well. 2 ZVS drivers working very well with all my other stuff. Working very well. So hopefully I'll have some more information. Hopefully my attackers don't adapt to it too much. We're gonna see. We're gonna see at the end of this week, and then I can do more. I can do more live streams. And I was thinking about just doing hangouts on the weekend, just hangouts, like, do stuff during the week, and maybe just have Saturday for I don't know. We'll do stuff. We'll do stuff in live streams, and just kind of see what everybody wants to do and what everybody wants to talk about. I definitely have just. It's like I don't even have stuff on the plate that I need, articles that I need to show y'all. It's infinite. The information about this is just infinite. So keep that in mind when you're making videos and getting information out. There's so much information, solid information about gang stalking, and I was just going in the bathroom. Okay, I gotta go, guys. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Just stay strong.